Everyone who plays games does so for different reasons. Some like to compete while others enjoy playing together with friends. But for many of us, one of gaming's greatest pleasures is a solitary experience, one I like to call the escape. The escape happens when you lose yourself in a video game. When a game is so good, you forget the outside world even exists, if just for a little while. The concept is nothing new. Escapism entertainment can be found anywhere from movies to books, and have long been a popular way for humans to forget the troubles of their daily lives. In modern times, games have become the perfect medium for escapism. Not only do games take us places, but they allow us to change these places. We are an active player in the stories of our games, and when it all comes together, it makes for one incredible escape. In my opinion, the Uncharted series by Naughty Dog offers one of the greatest escapes in gaming. Take a cast of lifelike characters, place them in exotic locations, and wrap them up in a larger-than-life sequence of events, and you have the basic recipe for an Uncharted getaway. But we've been running through the jungle and shooting bad guys with Nathan Drake for almost 10 years now. It's all become so familiar to us. At what point does the escape lose its power to take us away? Curious to answer this question, I played through Uncharted Lost Legacy and tried to determine what it was that makes Uncharted, well, Uncharted. I was curious to see what an Uncharted game without Nathan Drake was, and I wanted to see if Lost Legacy could capture that sense of escape that the previous games did, even though we've done this potentially 4 times before. Now, knowing that this game was included in a season pass and sold at a lower price, I came in skeptical that Lost Legacy could capture the magic of a full-scale Uncharted adventure. And then I played the game, and then I realized just how good this game is. Not only is Lost Legacy worthy of being part of the Uncharted series, but it's arguably stronger than some of Drake's own adventures. And most importantly, it makes for one last great escape. Let me show you why. First off, we have our cast. Let me make this clear, keeping Drake on the sidelines for this game was the single best decision Naughty Dog could make. I don't need to get into spoilers here, but if you've played Uncharted 4, you know just how nice and neat that game ended, and bringing Drake back into the field one more time would have basically ruined the ending of Uncharted 4. Removing Drake also gives our 2 protagonists their own spotlight. Chloe Frazer and Nadine Ross have excellent chemistry, and giving us not 1 but 2 female leads in an Uncharted game is a refreshing change of pace, and Naughty Dog takes advantage of this very early on, giving us a look at what an Uncharted adventure looks like from a woman's perspective. These scenes add tension and they draw us into the story, and they're a stark contrast to the macho bravado of Nathan Drake's Uncharted adventures. Not to mention, it makes it all the more satisfying when Chloe and Nadine begin kicking all sorts of dudes to the curb. In all honesty, just centering the story around someone who isn't Nathan does wonders for making the game feel new again. Speaking of new, Lost Legacy does something that no previous Uncharted game has even attempted, and that's allow players to explore an open world. Now, it's not the entire game that's free roam, just the game's largest chapter, but it's incredibly well done, and for the first time in an Uncharted game, I actually felt as if I was exploring at my own pace. You can drive straight to the main objectives, but you're given the freedom to explore on your own, taking on additional side quests if you feel so inclined. Further enhancing the open-world exploration is Lost Legacy's incredible dialogue system, which we first got a glimpse of in Uncharted 4. Our characters will carry on a conversation, one that adds important details to the story, and if you interrupt the dialogue to get out of the car or engage in conflict, the characters will naturally resume the conversation.
Devious. Practical.
Oh, hold up.
Over there, in that cliff wall. See that archway? Looks intact. Right. Where were we? Anyway, like I was saying, practical. Mitigates a lot of risks. Lucky you're on my team.
It seems simple, but it's genius. It feels as if you're listening to 2 people on a road trip rather than a static voiceover performance, and it makes the game feel so much more immersive. There's something else that feels slightly different about Lost Legacy that makes it feel different from previous Uncharted titles. It's filled with the same dazzling landscapes and thrilling set pieces we've seen Drake run through before, but there's something different in the tone. It feels more heroic. The setting of Lost Legacy is in India during a fictional civil war. Though the conflict is fictional, it takes cues from real-world conflicts in developing parts of the world. Our playable character Chloe has a connection to this country and a connection to this civil war. This is a noticeable departure from previous Uncharted games, most of which told a relatively simple story, usually centering around some big score for Nathan Drake and company. With the exception of Uncharted 4, that was a bit more of a family affair. The mysterious treasure hunting element is still at play in Lost Legacy, but by the end of the game it becomes clear that our cast of characters have become part of something larger. They're not just fighting for some treasure, they're fighting to save thousands of innocent lives. Now that's not to say that Nathan Drake was a bad person, though for an archaeologist he sure knows his way around an assault rifle. It's just that Nathan has never been involved with warfare, never directly fought for the masses of innocent people. It was never his role. This heroic change makes Chloe and Nadine feel unique. It gives Uncharted a new direction and purpose, and even though this is the 5th game in the series, it manages to provide for one last great escape. The Uncharted series is, and always will be, a prime example of escapist entertainment. Each game takes us somewhere we've never been before, and The Lost Legacy is no different. By removing Drake, Naughty Dog has managed to inject new life into this franchise, even though we've been through some of these motions many times before. It is the performances of our lead characters and their roles in the larger conflict around them that make The Lost Legacy an incredible Uncharted experience. Thank you all so much for watching. Full disclosure, I'm a huge Uncharted fan, therefore I'd like to hear what your favorite Uncharted title is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to catch new videos every week. Alright, I'm out. I'll catch you all in the next one.